Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about the Oculus Quest 2, the most affordable and insane VR headset that's out right now, and it just came out today. So you want to check it out with me? Then you're going to have to stick around. Oculus Quest 2. I am so freaking excited to be holding this in my hand right now. I've been waiting so long for this. I've had it on pre-order forever. It's still in its nice shiny shrink wrap because I wanted to take you along on the journey as well. Not only that, but we also do have the Elite strap with battery pack, and it comes with a carrying case. The official Oculus, basically kind of like a comfort strap thing, because the strap on the headsets, we'll talk about that, but we'll be looking at this, how it goes on the headset, and all that fun stuff. Now, full disclosure, before we get started with any of that, just want to let you guys know that I had to pay for this out of my own pocket. Today is the release day of this product. I actually bought it and I got it today. So, the difference between this video and others is that a lot of the other videos you've seen probably were provided for free, and that can always skew people's opinions. This, however, is my opinion, and I'm not being paid by anybody, and I had to pay for this out of my own pocket. So here is what we are going to be doing. This is actually a very special video that's going to be crossing over across pretty much all of my channels that I got going on right now. So in case you're new to the channel here, let me give you a little tour of what I got going on. We got youtube.com/Tronage, which is where we do a lot of stuff with regarding to drones, FPV flight, freestyle racing, all the kind of stuff that, zipping around and flying through the air. We got youtube.com/Tronage2, where I do video gaming like Fortnite and Among Us and all that kind of stuff. And then we have my special Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Tronage2. And there we do a lot of VR stuff, especially a lot of Beat Saber. I do song requests, and you pick songs and I play them, and we have a great old time, and I get freaking exhausted and I fall on the floor sometimes. That being said, this kind of encompasses all of those channels because it's video game playing, it's VR, and then you're saying, well, how does this have anything to do with FPV and drones and all that kind of stuff? Well, there's actually a VR compatible simulator for drone flight that's in the process of coming out that I'm actually really excited about, and we'll talk about that later. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring you all up in close. We're going to unbox this thing together so we can see the whole unboxing experience firsthand. Then we're going to look about this strap. How does it go on to the product? How do we attach it? Is it hard? Is it difficult? Is it necessary? Do you need to get it? I don't know. We're going to find out together. And then we're just going to talk about how VR is really getting into the whole marketplace as far as video gaming, and just how it's coming. It's here. Let's get started. Oculus Quest 2 in all its glory. All right, guys, so here's what we're going to be doing here, because this box is freaking, it's so clean. It's kind of almost resembling an Apple unboxing, like if you get an iPhone and stuff, where it's got that just very clean white box. So let's first take a look at this box. We got the front cover here, which has basically the headset and your controllers. Oculus Quest 2 from Facebook. We'll flip it up to the top here. It just basically has a big Oculus logo on it. And then also we have what's inside the box. We have the VR headset, 2 touch controllers, 2 AA batteries, a power adapter, glasses spacer, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and a charging cable. Now, one thing that raised a lot of red flags and a lot of people annoyed was this whole Facebook account required. This is very important. We'll just talk about this later on. This is also the 250 gig model. It's the bigger of the two options, just because, do you need to get the bigger option? Probably not, but just I do a lot of VR, so I figured I wanted to have the larger of them. We flip it around. We have what's on the back of the box, and here which showcases some of the games. These are games that are not included. It does even say content not included, but we have Star Wars game, which just looks freaking insane. I'm excited to play that. We have the Climb 2, which is it's like basically it's so freaking real. You're basically climbing a mountain in VR. It's ridiculous. We have Jurassic World, which is basically Jurassic Park theme type stuff. We got Facebook Horizon, which is sort of like their VR gathering social media. It's sort of like basically a VR Facebook where you can interact with people face to face. Population 1, which I'm super excited about. This is going to be releasing on, I believe, October 22nd. This is basically Fortnite in VR, which is ridiculous. And then my all-time favorite game, Beat Saber. It's freaking insane. Love playing that. Super good workout, and you can have so much fun playing that game. So they're not saying that these are games included with it, but it's just marketing materials to say, like, these are basically the buzz things. You got, Star Wars, Horizon, Jurassic Park, these are the things that they're just trying to advertise. So if you're seeing it on the shelf, which good luck trying to find this on the shelf, you'd be like, oh, this is that thing with Beat Saber. All right, let me buy it, I guess. I don't know. Next level hardware, blazing fast processor, and ultra realistic graphics put you in the center of the action. Easy setup. Open the box and jump into VR. No PC or console wires or external sensors needed, which is true, except, you see the little star there, so that means something that's going on. And that's over here where it says it requires a wireless internet connection and a Facebook account and a smartphone. And it's also backwards compatible, meaning if you already have a Quest 1, which I do, and we'll talk about that, but here's my Quest 1 in case you want to see it. If you have a Quest 1, anything you have on Quest 1 is backwards compatible to the Quest 2. On this side of the box, we have basically nothing interesting over here. The typical disclaimers, the warnings, the UPC codes, all that kind of fun stuff. On this end, we have just cardboard, in case you want to care about some cardboard. And on this end, we got cardboard. So that's your tour of the box. Now, let's cut this plastic up. Let's do this. Let's do this right. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm hung up on something. I think I'm hung up in the cart. There we go. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, that was so wonderful. All right, so here comes the plastic off for the first time. Okay. So, we slide, I think we slide. Yes, we slide out. Take off the sleeve. See, now that's kind of cool. You have I thought it was just going to be a regular cardboard. This is not actual, just plain old cardboard. This is it feels almost like MDF, which is like a medium density fiberboard that you use. But I mean, it is cardboard, but it's like a heavy duty cardboard. And it's got a nice Oculus logo right there in the dead center. So now let's open this package. Wow, I just got freaking so much chills from that. I'm like freaking, I'm all giddy. So this just looks well laid out. Almost, I mean, obviously you're not going to carry around a cardboard box to, bring your product around if you wanted to bring it places. But I mean, the way it's just in here, you almost don't need a carrying case. This is so beautiful in here. So it's just well packaged out. So we got our controllers here. So let's get a first-hand feel of these. These are, wow. Let's just take a quick comparison here while we're up close first. Let's look at these controllers. So here is the Quest 1 controller in this hand, and this is now the Quest 2 controller. So you can see as far as the ring part where all the sensors are, it looks kind of the same. But you can see where the buttons are, there's a couple little bit of a difference here. So we can see that the joystick is kind of the same thing. You have your B and A buttons. The little Oculus button that's right here has now moved to over here. So it's not directly below, it's a little to the right. But then there's this you can see right in there, this area. There's a little textured area, which I'm guessing that's going to be sort of like a touch sensor where you can sort of maybe like a joystick, but it can feel your movements. Now, Obviously, I have a couple little things on my controller here. This like grip thing doesn't come with it. That's aftermarket. This strap that goes around the back, that's aftermarket. If you're wondering why I have that, it's because when you're playing Beat Saber, it's nice to be able to like have a good grip where you don't have to worry about like dropping your controller, so that you have a good grip. So hopefully there'll be some sort of aftermarket stuff like that for this. But you can see if I take this off, let's just compare apples to apples. So now with that off, we can see that they relatively look the same. They're roughly about the same size. The ring on the outside you can see is a little tiny bit thicker on the new ones than the old ones. Like the ring part is a little bit thicker this way. But other than that, I mean, they feel about the same. Now, the one complaint a lot of people had was, you know, this battery door kind of, it's just held on by magnet. So it kind of, you can feel it like as you're playing, it kind of comes out off. And supposedly that's been fixed with this one. See if I can figure out how to open this without having to redirect. I mean, it shows me an arrow that way. Okay. So there's your battery. It does have a little tab here so that you make sure you pull that tab out so it doesn't put the battery connection in place. But it does come with the AA battery pre-installed. So the difference here feels like there's a magnet part to it, maybe? I don't know. I don't know that maybe it's just a clip-in. Something definitely feels 100% different with the way this is clipping into place. It is more locked in. Like I don't feel like as I'm playing, I'm gonna slide that out. It takes a lot of work to do. With the old one, it didn't take much effort at all and it would just come right out, you know? So it was like easy to do. This one's not easy to do. So while you're playing, it's probably not gonna give that sort of sensation. As far as the side buttons go, it feels about the same. Trigger feels about the same. Let's see. Yeah, the trigger maybe has a little shorter of a travel, barely, but roughly about the same. Physically looks about the same. One thing I'm also noticing is there's a little bit of a change in the angle that the handle to the ring has, which may help with tracking. Because you see, like, this one's almost straight, and then this one has like a little kicks to the right a tiny bit. And there's also this extra, like, this doesn't have that. This has this extra area, which I'm sure is also for whatever the electronics are for this little, like, touchpad-y area. And as far as weight goes, they feel about the same. But let's get an actual weigh-in on these. All right, so on my scale, this one weighs 134 grams. This one weighs 152 grams, so it is a little bit heavier, but it does make sense because it does have this extra little touchpad-y area that this one does not. So as far as the outsides go and comparing them and stuff, the other thing that's kind of cool is the little lanyard thing. This is like actual like braided string rope, while the strap on this one was more like a plastic, I don't know, strap. So I feel like this is maybe a little bit more durable. I'm intrigued about that. So anyway, there's our comparison between the controllers, between the Quest 1 and the Quest 2. But there's definitely, even looking at it from this angle, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's definitely like a kick to the right. So when I'm holding this one, you can see the ring is like very straight out. When I'm holding this one, the ring is kind of turned this way like a little bit. So in the hand, it's a little bit to the right a little bit, or to the left. Cool. So those are our controllers. Now let's take a look at the actual headset itself. It is, I mean, they said it was a little bit lighter, but it feels much lighter and is also much smaller. So there's a lot of like stuff going on here. Move lenses to the right or left for the clearest view. So that's, we'll talk about that. That's the IPD adjustment. Those of us in FPV already know all too well about IPD adjusting. How does this just come out? Oh, there we go. So that's just showing you how to do your IPD adjustments. And we have little protective lenses, little protective, we have little protective plastics on our lenses, which I'll leave in place right now. So these IPDs should have, I think, 3 spots where they can be in. Yeah, so you have the inside, middle, and outside. So that's how you do your basically 3-position IPD. It's a physical IPD, but it's only like 3-position. So there's a little bit of limitation there, but it does still pretty much cover all the general average bases. Now the strap on it is very much, this is why I bought that Elite strap. If you look at the strap, this is very much like the Go, which I'll go show you in a moment. But for comparison, from the Quest 1 to the Quest 2, this I feel is almost a step back, because this is just, you know, floppy elastic. On the Quest 1, you know, don't mind my little speaker earphone mods and all that stuff, but on the Quest 1, we had this more rigid type plastic strap. It kind of went over the crown of your head, and it had, you know, like it was a little bit more comfortable than what was on the Oculus Go. Now, if we look at the Oculus Go, which is the predecessor to the Quest, this was their first standalone headset, but it only had 3 degrees of freedom. It didn't have 6 degrees of freedom. Don't worry about it. This is already discontinued. Doesn't exist anymore. So just, you know, we're just talking about the head strap right now. So don't worry about the actual specs on this headset. But this headset, you see how it has this floppy elastic? That's exactly what we have here. And in fact, it's a little bit different because this one at least had that same, like, where it could go over the crown of your head area where there's like this space. This doesn't even have that. It's just a straight band across the back. So I feel like the strap on this is definitely a step back, but for the price, you have to cut some corners somewhere. So I think that's why we went back to the Oculus Go's style of strap, because it's clearly going to be cheaper and more affordable to do that. And then they also offer the Elite strap as an add-on, so that if you want to spend the extra money for that comfort, you can. We have the little paper here, so let's peel this guy off so we can unveil it in all of its glory. Woo! So it's definitely really cool. It's got this white color going on to it. We have the microphone holes there, volume, the cameras that look out to basically see where it is in the world and also to track the controllers. We have a headphone jack. We have the USB-C jack here. And on this side, we have, I'm going to bet you that's a power button and a power light. And that looks to be all on here. Now, while we're here, to mention, we're going to talk about this eyeglass spacer. So if you wear eyeglasses for vision correction, that's what this is for. What this does, this goes in between this is called the facial interface, the foamy part that you put on your face. This kind of goes in between. It doesn't go on top. You take this out, you put this in, and you put this back on top. Like this. You take that out, you put this in, snap that into place. I'm not going to pop it all in because I'm not going to be using it. And then you pop this in on top of that. What that does is it makes the facial interface a little bit further from the unit and thereby offers a little bit of extra room inside for your glasses. The downside to that is that the further that these lenses get away from your face, the more tunnel vision you're going to get. Now with this, it's not going to be that big of a deal, but if you don't need it, there's no reason to put it in, and that's why it's separate. It's not already pre-installed, because if you don't need it, you'll have a better viewing experience without it, because you'll have a more immersive experience. So that is the headset. And I'll give you a weight on this naked. I mean, it's going to be, I can't really give you a weight on the Quest 1 that I have in my hand, because I'm sure you can look up specs for that. But I mean, I have so much stuff on here, but I'll give you a weight on this one that, you know, you can look up the rest. All right, so we just weighed this. This comes in at 503 grams, which is much lighter than the original Quest 1, which came in at 571 grams. So roughly we are 70 grams lighter, which is crazy that we have a better headset with better stuff, better processor, better everything, cheaper and lighter weight than its predecessor, which is really completely unheard of in my opinion. And lastly, here we have this little box here. Let's see what we got inside this little box. It's actually nicely designed. If I can get it to open. How does this open? This way? This way? There we go. It was actually way easier than I thought. You open it up, bing. Probably the little documentations and all that stuff. And then we have the charging cable, which is going to be a USB Type-C. along with a wall adapter that plugs into the wall. That's how those types of things work. So there's our unboxing of the headset. Let's take a look now at our comfort head strap, because this is what I'm really excited about. This is going to bring it, I think, to the next level, not only because of the comfort level involved, but as far as it has an extra battery life. And the other reason I want it, not just so that it plugs in and you get extra battery life in addition to the battery that's installed in it, but this battery on this end acts like a counterweight. So you have the weight in the front, the weight in the back, and it sort of takes that weight off of like your cheekbones, which is where you'll usually feel the weight of a VR headset resting on you. This sort of balances everything out and makes the whole experience much more comfortable. So let's open this up. We have a little, looks like a little pull tab here, but I'm just gonna cut it because I don't feel like trying to figure that out. Cool. Is there one on the bottom too? Yes, there is. Okay. Okay, that is all cut. We slide it out of its sleeve. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Come on. There we go. Now I will say, the box is near identical to the other one. Same of that MDF type feel. I mean, it is cardboard, but higher end. It does have the little logo on it, which I'm surprised for a accessory. They've went to this level on the packaging. It makes the experience that much, you know, more rewarding. All right, let's check out this. All right, so right off the bat, I have a little fuzzy on my case here. It's just a little piece of lint, but the case itself, it looks softer than it actually is. It has more of a, I don't want to say rough texture, but it certainly does not feel like velvety, smooth, and soft. It is, you know, it kind of feels a little rough. It has a very rounded shape, very like pill shape. Like I feel almost like this could be like a costume in Among Us. You just put like a little here and it'd be like, you know. It's intriguing the way it's like zippered even. It's almost like a hidden zipper. I'm guessing this is the zipper pull. So it is. It's a completely hidden zipper. It's completely zipped up right now. So you just go around the little seam. Very smooth zipper, I have to say. And then you open this up. And there is your strap. Let's take a peek at that. That's not going to work. Let's turn it this way. So remove with care, follow quick start guide is what I'm seeing here. So I'm sure we're gonna have to look at that before we start trying to just jam this onto our Quest. And this is that. Okay, we'll put that to the side for a moment. We'll come back to that to take a look. I just wanna look here. We have a little instruction sheet. I'm guessing this is where the quick start guide is gonna be. And then we have the actual case. Now the inside is a little bit more soft than the outside is. Almost kind of the same. It looks like this is going to be where you're going to put your controller area is going to be here. The actual Quest is going to be the way the head strap was in. The back of the strap will be here. The actual front part that you look into will be here. And then there looks like to be this little compartment here that you can maybe put like headphones or maybe spare batteries for your controllers or whatever you'd like in there. And then the whole thing would zip up closed. Now let's take a look at the headset itself. It is pretty lightweight. It has all this cardboard stuff on the front here, so I'm just going to remove that for right now. I think that's just cardboard. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's just cardboard to basically just hold this all in place and together, but it's basically telling us make sure that you remove and follow carefully. So we're going to make sure we attach it properly. The actual strap itself has another piece of cardboard here on the back, so we will remove that because why not? Whoa. And there we go. We have basically a nice soft rubber cup here to grab the crown of your head. The battery pack is back here, which has the lead that runs over this way and then plugs in. And they even have a little cardboard box on the plug. Look at how cute. All right, let's open that guy up. There we go. So now we have the little plug to plug it in. The bottom here I just found is the charging port to charge your battery pack that's back here. And it also has this ratchet style, like if you've ever worn a hard hat or any kind of like adjustable band across your head type thing for to really snug it up and tighten up the straps. You can see you can make it really big, and then you can tighten it up so you really get a nice snug fit. And then it has the strap that goes over the top of your head so that while it's pulling down, it takes some of that pressure off of everything else. Let's take that off as well. So there is the tour of the Elite strap with battery on it. So now we're going to talk about how does this go on to this. And the reason why we're going to take special care is we did have this little warning here that says to do it very carefully. Make sure we read the guide. So we have our quick start guide right here, and we're going to get started. So let's open it up to page 1. And page 1 says remove facial interface. Okay, remove the facial interface. Wish I read that before I popped it back in when I was showing you the glasses insert. So you just pull that out and now it's removed. Step 2. Detach soft strap. So we're taking off the top strap as well as the side straps. How does this come off? I think this is where they wanted you to be careful. It looked like you had to like pull it from this end. I feel like I'm breaking it. Okay, there, it just kind of pops off. Okay, all right, not bad. Okay, it's a little nerve-wracking when you have a piece of expensive hardware that you're just like ripping pieces off. But I understand why, because I mean, if you didn't get the strap, this is what is holding it on your head, so that is pretty important to be pretty robust. Step 3, extend Elite side straps. Okay, we're gonna extend them. Yeah, it doesn't go anymore. That's the furthest it goes. Attach Elite side straps and attach Elite top strap. So we'll go and do those steps. So again, it looks like to be the reverse of what we did. So we're going to start in the back here and kind of work it on. A lot easier said than done. I think it'll be the case here. Okay. If you get just the right angle, it does pop right on. But if you do not get that right angle, it's like a struggle, man. Like if you can't if you're trying to put this on and you're having difficulty, if you're trying to like push it on and stuff, you'll never get it. You gotta start at this tip here, get it to like pop like that, and then it kind of just, the rest of it follows right behind it. See, it just like that. And that's how you get that part on. And then we have to put this Velcro part on. So that goes here. There we go. And a little bit of Velcro action there. All right, we have that. What's next? Insert facial interface, and then charge the Elite strap, and then what else we got? And adjust it. Okay, so the installation to putting this basically on here is not super terrible, because now what's interesting though, I don't think it said about putting this into here. It said now to charge this. But in any case, now it's basically set up. You put it on your head. You use this to crank this down so it gets a nice fit on your head. And that's pretty much it. So that's how easy this is to install. It does have a little bit of motion here, so you can get that right fit. So if you want to like have it on your head and then bend it up or whatever you want to do, so you get that proper, you know, so this can rest on the crown of your head, and then this angle's proper to however your head is shaped, which is pretty cool. Oh, I gotta also put my facial interface back on. I don't know, did it say to do that? I wasn't paying attention, but I think it did. It did say to put my facial interface back on. That part I will do, which is not a big deal to snap that back in to place. There we go. And speaking of facial interfaces, it's very nice, very soft, very spongy feeling. Although I will say, if I'm going to be playing this with Beat Saber, I'm going to be sweating my you-know-what's off. So it's going to definitely need some sort of a different non-absorbent thing for the sweat, because on my Quest 1, you want to take a look here, I do have a silicone thing, like this is silicone that wraps on the outside, so this way when I sweat it doesn't get absorbed into anything. It just sits on the outside that I can wipe it down and keep it nice and clean, but yet I still get that nice comfort foam feel to it. So hopefully they'll have something like that similar for the Quest 2. All right, so I guess what we'll do is start charging this bad boy up and see what we got. All right, so one thing I wanted to talk about for a moment is when I got to step 7 here, which was to charge the Elite Strap battery. It does actually indicate to plug in the adapter into the headset, but it doesn't say it up here. It just says to charge it. So if you look quick, you'll see, just like I did, it says charge Elite Strap, and you say, oh, plug it in, and you go charge it. Wonderful. When I plugged it in, there's no lights, no indicator, no anything on here to let me know, hey, it's charging, hey, is it finished, is it started, is it anything? So I came back to look, and I see it has to plug into the headset. So my guess is, don't quote me on this, but different from an aftermarket just taking a battery and plugging it in, this is actually talking with the headset to let it know where its battery charges are, so that the light on the headset that's actually right here to let you know whether it's charged or not, you're basically charging the whole system as a whole, not that you're charging this battery and then this battery is charging the headset. So once this is kind of connected, I'm feeling that the whole thing acts as just one big battery and you're charging the whole system. While if you didn't have this battery pack on the back here, then you would just be charging the normal way and you would just be charging the battery that's in the head unit. That's kind of how it works, and it was a little confusing at first, so I wanted to let you guys know that so that you don't get confused as I did. The other thing that I'm noticing that's going to be kind of stinky is that if you're using this attached to a PC with their link cable, which is how I play my Beat Saber, the problem is there's only one USB-C port, and that's what this battery pack is interfacing with to the head unit. So when I plug this into a PC, I'm gonna have to unplug this battery pack and just maybe like tie up this wire somewhere so it's not dangling around hitting things. And that's unfortunate because obviously if you're attached to the computer, you don't need the battery pack because it's getting the power from the cable connected to your computer. But it's annoying to have to keep unplugging and plugging this unit every time. I never even thought of that when I was making my purchase. It would have been nice if this had its own special interface to the headset, and then it left the USB-C port open so that you could then use it normally as you would with like the Oculus Link cable and stuff. All right, this is actually Tronage from the future. So I wanted to clarify a couple of things as I'm editing this footage up. So number one, yes, as I said before, when this is hooked up and this is plugged in and you power up the whole system, inside when you're viewing it, it says you have the extended battery plugged in and you now have extended battery life. So the head unit actually acknowledges the battery pack strap thing as being like part of the system, and it just increases the battery life. So I'm sure there's some interconnection and intercommunication between these two elements, because then it just acts like one big battery. Now with the link cable though, here's where the issues lie. So as I was saying, I have to unplug this every time I want to use the link cable, which is here. This is so you can hook it up to a PC. Now, I thought, well, maybe with it plugged in here, you could plug the link cable in over here and it would have like a pass through, so it would, you know, the cable would be in the back of your head where it should be. And the answer is no, that does not work. There's no pass through. If you plug your link cable into here like this and then have this running to here, the headset does not see the link cable at all. It does not acknowledge it. It doesn't work, so that's not an option. The other thing that's annoying, aside from having to always unplug this to plug in your link cable, is that the link cable, obviously the Quest 2 wasn't out yet, but it comes with this little clip here. You can see this clip. And what that's for is when it's on the Quest 1, which is where I originally bought it for, you plug this on here, this clip can go on the strap back here, and then it holds that wire, so when you're moving around, you're pulling, it's not putting any stress over here on the plug or on the cable, and as well it routes the cable to the back of your head so that it's out of your way. Now, when we go to the Quest 2, I would have liked, if I had, you know, in a perfect world, this part of this strap, I wish that that was compatible with this clip, because that would have been awesome. But as you can see, it's too wide. I can't use this clip on this part of the strap to route the wire to be in the back of my head again. So in order to do that, you plug it in here, and then it's hanging here. So then you could say, oh, well, you have this clip that the head strap came with, and that's wonderful. You know, you can open this up. It takes a little bit of work. See, this is, the other one pops on and off so easily. And I could clip this on like this, but still it's on my side now. It's not out the back of my head. So it's going to be dangling on your shoulder, which is, you know, it's less than ideal. So then I'd say, well, what if I had one of these clips? Does this clip work back here? And the answer is it kind of does, but kind of doesn't. Like, I can force it to kind of stay because the rubber is like squishy, but it doesn't really stay. So this clip does not really work there. I kind of got it to stay, but the moment you put a little bit of like pull on it, it's gonna pop right back off. And that's less than ideal. It's like barely hanging on by a thread. So what needs to happen here is they need to have this kind of a clip that can work back here on the headset. And that way this one can stay up front here for this part, as it should. And then there's a clip for this to plug back down here so that you can have the wire running out the back. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys the heads up for anyone looking at the Quest 2 in conjunction with using the official Oculus Link cable. One thing I will say, by the way, it's nice now how the USB-C is in this orientation so that the wire just goes straight back for whatever you have plugged in there, versus on the Quest 1, they had the USB-C vertical. So when you plug this in, it's sitting here like this, and then it has to bend the wire to come back up. So the 90-degree change in the Quest 2 is a nice addition. But like I said, it feels like it was almost thought all the way through. But they just needed to either make this part of the strap compatible with the existing clip, or maybe with this head strap, you know, part, they include an extra clip saying, you know, because I mean, how much does it cost for this little tiny piece of plastic? You know, a penny? You could just have it included and say, you know, if using Oculus Link cable, here's the clip for this part. You know, something simple like that would have been awesome. So what I'm probably going to end up doing, because this clip isn't so terribly hard to design, I don't think, I'm going to probably whip up something that's compatible with the cable and with this back clip on my 3D printer. And if I get something that's working, what I'll do a separate video about it. If the video is out at the time of viewing, you can just check up here in the corner. There should be a card that pops up. And if there is no card, it means I'm still working on doing it. But that way I'll have these clips available on my website that you can put them on there, and it'll be super easy to get your link cable working with your Elite strap. All right, let's get back to that video. All right, guys, so now as promised, I did mention we were going to talk about some of the stuff we saw on the marketing of that box, specifically the requirements, having a Facebook account, having a Wi-Fi connection, and having a smartphone. So let's talk about this, because this is the subject of a lot of debate and whatnot. So the Oculus brand was acquired by Facebook, and Facebook is slowly beginning to integrate it. And I think the idea is to sort of make the word Oculus maybe go away and have it just be Facebook. So that instead of it being the Oculus Quest, maybe they wanted it to be the Facebook Quest. But still there's a feeling that goes along with the word Oculus. So I don't know if they're going to necessarily kill it off, but they're certainly absorbing it into, as far as when they had their announcement meeting, virtual meeting, whatever they do when they announce products. It used to be called Oculus Connect, and now I think it was called like Facebook Connect or something. Like they kind of took the word Oculus out of it, and it just, you know. And then the fact that they're requiring, it's not, you always could log in with Facebook on your Quest 1, but now it's a requirement that you have, if you want to set this up and basically activate it and turn it on, you have to have a Facebook account. And a lot of people are saying this is a deal breaker to them because they don't want to have a Facebook account, or they don't want it tied into their Facebook account, or they don't want Facebook, you know, seeing what they're doing. Here's the deal. I'm going to give you a little secret. There's a reason why this hardware is so cheap. There's a reason why that this is the most powerful standalone VR headset that's currently available, that is more powerful, smaller, lighter, and cheaper than the Quest 1 was when it launched. The reason is because you're paying for it in other ways. You're paying for it by having a Facebook account. You're paying for it for allowing them to see what you're doing, to allow them to see your habits, what games you like, what browsing habits you have, what social media habits you have. If you don't realize, there's a lot of things in life that you get for free that you take for granted that you're really paying for, you just don't realize you're paying for. Namely, let's say like YouTube or Google or Facebook or all these giant entities that give you a service for free. Where does that money come from? Let's think. Oh, advertisers. That's where the money comes from. So if you don't offer them something, namely your habits, your likes, your dislikes, that kind of thing, then they don't have anything to necessarily sell to advertisers. Therefore, they don't have a revenue income, and therefore they don't have a product that can be existing. You know what I'm trying to say? So the long story short, if you're into like, if you are one of those people who are very private and don't want people, you know, Big Brother looking at you or Skynet or whatever, then yes, the Quest 2 is not going to be for you because it requires a Facebook account. It also requires Wi-Fi to get it hooked up, and it requires a smartphone, because the way the installation process works, essentially, you pull up the app on your smartphone, you hook up to your Quest, you kind of like activate it as being mine, and then it ties in with the Wi-Fi to everything else, and it sort of like turns on and gets everything set up for you. That's a requirement. And there's, perhaps there'll be people who figure out ways around it and whatnot, and that's fine. I'm not one of those people. I'm perfectly comfortable putting my Facebook account into my Quest because that's how it's so affordable, because the amount of data that they can basically data mine out of my usage habits that they can then sell to whomever advertisers or developers or researchers or whatever the case is where the difference in cost that I didn't pay with money, but I paid with by contributing to that source of data, if you will. So that's how things that are free aren't free, but they feel like they're free. And YouTube is no different. Any big company, that's how it works. So that's why they're requiring it at this point, because they're selling this at such a low price point that for hardware wise, I don't even understand how that's even possible, because what this is capable of and the power this has is ridiculous compared to the cost of what it is, and the research and development that went into this is I can't even fathom it. So that's where they offset the price by requiring you then to have a Facebook account. So is that right for you? I don't know. Personally, I don't have any issues with it. Why do I feel this is so important? Because the idea here is that it's affordable. Like, it's not cheap. Don't get me wrong by any stretch of the imagination. the price tag on this is not cheap. It's cheap for what a VR headset has cost and would have cost, especially not too long ago. If you wanted VR, we're not talking put your Android Samsung phone in a, and with, no, we're not, that's garbage. I'm talking actual VR, where you have controllers in your hands and you have an actual dedicated headset. It required you to be hooked up to a PC, and not just a casual everyday PC. You had to have like a really decent gaming rig built for VR that was able to handle what needed to be handled. So by the time you factor in the cost of a PC, cost of the headset, cost of probably needing a couple more base stations / lighthouses, which are the things that watch you, because inevitably your room setup, there'll be a blind spot that isn't seen, so you may need a third or even a fourth station to watch. By the time you factor all those costs in, you're talking a lot of money. The Quest 2, completely self-contained. You do not need a PC. You do not need any of these external products. You just have the thing on your head, the controller's in your hand, and you're getting pretty much, I mean, we'll see. The Quest 1 blew my mind as far as the quality you were getting out of it compared to attached to a PC. Now let's see what the Quest 2 brings to the table, because I feel like I'm probably not even going to be able to distinguish the difference, but we'll see. I don't want to put too much weight into that, but that's why this is really a crucial moment in the world of VR, is that it's opening it up to be on the same level as a console system, like an Xbox or a PlayStation. That's sort of like where this is now hitting. It doesn't require anything else. You just buy the thing, a console, you buy the thing, you plug it onto your TV and you play. This, you buy the thing, you charge it, you put it on your face and you play. That's sort of, I think, the market they're going for, so it brings VR to more of the masses at a price point that's equivalent to those, consoles, especially with the Xbox Series X and Series S and the PlayStation 5 all releasing very, very, very soon. So they're sort of getting a little bit of a head start into that market to try to get people to maybe check this out for some VR action. All right, so that's why I think this is very important. The price point is huge. The only downside is that whole Facebook account required thing, and as I said, I don't really care. Whatever. So if that's important to you, let me know down below and let me know why. I don't want to start like a whole debate about why it's good or bad, but just let me know down below why you don't like that. I'm just curious, because I mean, in all honesty, I don't care that Facebook knows that I played Beat Saber, and I don't care that Facebook knows that I'm friends with Joe Schmo. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit different, but I don't really care that Facebook knows what it knows. But I don't know. Maybe you're different. Let me know down below what if you have an issue with this, why you'd have an issue with it. I'm just curious, and maybe, see eye to eye a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to let that kind of charge up, and I'm going to use it a little while. I want to kind of get a feel for it. I want to see how does it, I want to formulate a good impression, because I am very versed at what the Quest 1 is like, how good the optics are, how there definitely is still a screen door effect in the Quest 1, so we'll see if that's been resolved in the Quest 2. The screen panels are different. The Quest 1 has 2 separate OLED panels, while the Quest 2 has a single LCD panel that has both optics looking at one panel. So I'm very intrigued about how that's going to look out. And then also, after I've had a chance to really get into the nitty gritty with it, we'll also talk about the different VR titles that I'm excited about, especially the one that I mentioned earlier. It's called DVR Simulator, which is a VR simulator for drones and flying, which I really want to see if I can get my hands on. I don't right now because it's in early access beta, I believe. So I'm going to see if I can reach out to the folks over there and see if I can get into that, and maybe we can do a little video on that separately as well. So after I get some time on the headset and I really get I formulate my opinions, I'll be back here with another video letting you know kind of a comparison between the two. But I will say, as far as the hardware goes, the unboxing experience, what is there, how it feels in the hand, it is much better. It is lighter weight, It is smaller. I like that it's white instead of black. It's kind of like it's very fresh feeling. The controllers are a little bit heavier, but it also has that added functionality. So I'm very intrigued how that will play out. I will say, even just holding the controllers in my hand, there's like a muscle memory that I have for where that Oculus button is, right? You know, your thumb goes bink and it's like right on that. Now it's like kind of kicked over to the side. So that's going to take a little bit of, I'm going to go to try to hit that Oculus button when I need to, like, you know, pause or go to a menu, and it's not going to be where I want to push. It's going to be to the side. So because the button layout's a little bit different, that may take some getting used to. I'm also intrigued how the tracking is going to be, because it supposedly has better tracking and stuff. Because when I'm playing Beat Saber, remember, this is inside out tracking. There's no base stations in the room watching me so that it knows where I am. It's all, the magic of this is it's all in the headset. The headset has 4 cameras watching the environment, and as the video moves, it knows the headset moved. And in addition to that, it's also tracking. There's infrared beacons that are all shining around this ring, so it knows the orientation, where is it in space, where is it in relation to the headset, and whatnot. And in Beat Saber, sometimes the controls will end up behind your head or behind your back, and obviously at that point, it can't see it. So it'll be interesting to see how fast it can recover, like pick up back that it's in view. How does it, you know, how does it just function? That's what I want to know. Now, obviously, hooked up to a computer will be a little bit different than when it's isolated and on its own. So I'll be testing it with, you know, Beat Saber and other games standalone, as well with the Oculus Link, and seeing how it all plays out. So I'm super excited to get trying that out. I just got to get those batteries charged up. And once they're charged up, because I'm a firm believer, when you get a new product, you plug it in, let it charge. Don't. I don't know, maybe it's a little old school, but I just feel like that first charge is so important. Just get that first charge 100% and then go play. Be patient. You waited this long to get the product, let it charge. Give it a chance to charge, then play with it. All right, so as always, my name's Tronage. Fly strong.